I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay.
Wendy.
Okay.
Do that again, I didn't get that.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about Rodney as a kid.
Oh, well, my baby. Rodney as a kid, he was a good little boy. He attended Holy Redeemer.
Hold on. She doesn't need to be mic'd?
Oh my God. I couldn't hear anything. I'm glad somebody is watching. I apologize. One more. Let's try again. Do you mind maybe just stating your name, just so you can test the microphone?
My name is Barbara Martin.
That seems good.
Same question.
Oh, Rodney, as a little boy, he attended Holy Redeemer Catholic School in elementary. Then he went to Shaw Junior High and then Dunbar. When Rodney was coming up, he was a good child, mischievous like other little boys. But other than that, he was pretty good. I mean, Tyrone's mother and my mother brought Rodney up because Tyrone was away, and his mother came over a lot and got Rodney. And my mother watched him while I worked, and like I said, then he got into this rapping. He used to be in the bathroom all the time, bamming on stuff. And I just said, Rodney, stop that noise. But I didn't know he was in there practicing rapping, right? And one day he did a concert, and everybody ran back and said, your son was at the Capitol Center, he did a concert, and he turned the place up. And then that's when I knew where all that noise was coming from. I didn't know that my son was that into music, and I didn't even know he was that popular until somebody came and told me. So that's when it started, and he would tell me, Mom, I'm going this place to do a concert, I'm going another place to do a concert. I never went because, you know, you said you're doing a go-go concert, I just didn't think any more about it. And when his death happened, that's when I knew my son was popular because it was huge. The funeral was huge. And I didn't know how popular he was as far as his music was concerned until then. So.
Where do you think he picked up his musical background?
I really don't know because we don't have any musical talent. It's just natural. We don't have any musical talent. I'm an only child. I have no sisters and brothers. And I have my daughter, she doesn't have any musical talent. I don't know where he got it from. He just started writing stuff down, and I would see sheets of paper all over the house with lyrics on it, and I didn't know he was, you know, writing songs, you know. And one thing led to another. And that was the beginning of what they call him, Rapper Rodney. That's what they called him. So that's what everybody knows him by is his musical talent.
We talked to a gentleman earlier that said people liked Rodney was liked in every quadrant of DC because of his rapping and his street cred.
That is true. I can be on my job and we have a couple of young fellas who work in maintenance. I work for DC Housing. And we were talking and I'll say, how old are you? And they'll tell me. And I said, you know, and he said, who don't know Rapper Rodney? Who don't know him? Everybody knows him. That was my man, you know how they talk. So he was well known. 22 years later, I'm in the government and people still talking about him. So he was well known.
Do you have any questions?
Sure,
So I think-
sure, I do, if you don't mind. You know, Mr. Parker mentioned kind of from father's perspective, what it meant for him to be away for such a long period of Rodney's life. But what was it like for you to be the only parent home, bringing him up?
Well, I had my mother and my father to help me. So I didn't have wasn't a hard time bringing him up, because I had them to help me along the way. Because when I had Rodney, I was in 12th grade. I walked across the stage with Rodney, 3 girdles on, because back when I went to school, you couldn't be pregnant and go to school. And I graduated in June and had Rodney in November. Me and Tyrone both were in the 12th grade when the conceivement came. It's from Rodney. And, we both were in high school and we just graduated. And after graduation, well, we got together during high school because I had Rodney. I was pregnant when I walked across the stage. My mother helped me and his mother helped because he wasn't incarcerated when Rodney was born. He was there when he was young. It's when Rodney got older and in the teens and stuff, that's when he was away. And then his mother died. So then it was my mother and my father, and we did good by him. We brought him up together.
I saw a lot of pictures of him in basketball uniforms and I think maybe football. So he was big on sports in school?
Oh yeah, really big. And when he got out of school, he was mentoring other boys to go to play basketball. He would go down to the colleges. Like a couple of his friends was here today, who he used to help go down to see him in college and all. But I never remember him, like standing out on a football field or a basketball field, but he loved sports just like any other kid.
What does a documentary on your son's life mean to you?
My heart is falling. It brings back so much memories. You just don't know how much your son means to everybody until tragedy happens. And I'm just grateful that people haven't stopped talking about him 22 years, and he's been dead 22 years. And now they're making a documentary on him, so he's still alive. In spirit, anyway. So it's a good day for me. I'm glad. People will be glad to just see this documentary of Rodney, because they still talk about him today. And it's 2011. And he died in 1989.
Where were you when you found out that Rodney had been shot?
I was in the house, and a couple of friends were over, and my mother had called, sent them right around the house and said, "Tell his mother that Rodney got shot." So I'm saying, "Oh Lord, he got shot." So I got out the house, went to my mother's house. She wouldn't go, because she was too upset. So I went to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I said, "Where's Rodney?" And the nurse said, "He's in the room." I said, "Well, can you tell me before I go in the room, how bad is it? Is he shot in the arm or leg? Because just prepare me for." She says, "No, the fatal bullet, the fatal bullet shot him. He's dead." And I collapsed. I hit the floor. Then I went in the room. He was laying there. He had one bullet. He was shot with one bullet that went to his artery. And he was a big fellow. And I went in the room. He was laying there. He didn't even look like just like he was asleep. And he was laying there, and just like he's sleeping, you know, you have a little drab, you know, coming out your mouth when you be sleeping, a little spit. And I wiped it away from his mouth and I kissed him and I pulled the sheet back. He just had a patch. And I just stayed in there until I took him down with it. He didn't even look like he was deceased. It was like he was just laying there. But when I got to the room, it must have been about 15 girls in the room. Why you I think they must have left because when he got shot, he had did a concert at Crystal Skating Ring. And they must have left the skating ring and followed the ambulance to the hospital. And when I came there and I came in the room, all these girls was in the room with him. And I asked them to leave, and that's when I had my moment with him.
If there's anything that you could change, as far as rearing Rodney and bringing him up, what would that be, if anything?
No, I was right content with Rodney the way he was. I wouldn't change anything. I left him just the way he was.
Was there ever a moment when Rodney asked you, "Where is my father?" that you had to explain where he was at?
Well, you know,